this upcoming Wednesday, there will be an election in regards to who will potentially be the next House GOP conference chair. Now, currently, Liz Cheney holds that position, and whether or not she gets voted out of that position or not will be highly symbolic of where the Republican Party will be going. Because right now, the Republican Party is at a major crossroad. It could either go with Liz Cheney and continue this path of the status quo, the establishment, and just continue on dealing with politics as usual in Washington, D.C., and often compromising to the Democrats to such a major degree. Pretty much acting like Mitch McConnell and Mitt Romney have what they have always done. Or, and this is what I'm hoping for, they go with kicking out Liz Cheney, putting in Elise Stefanik, who is a congresswoman of New York, and going with a new vision of the Republican Party that has been led by President Donald Trump, which promotes populism and nationalism and offers a new alternative to that of the Democratic Party. This in turn would reform the GOP. Now, will this happen? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Although, just recently, Congressman Jim Jordan actually went on an interview with Fox News and said that he has managed to obtain enough votes to kick her out. Now, I'm not entirely, again, this could be just for show. I honestly am not sure at this point because the establishment does have a lot of influence, especially within the House. However, there is still a major faction of Trump supporters within the House of Representatives, and they can definitely, at this point, it's up in the air. I have no idea, but whichever way the Republican Party goes, whether they kick Liz Cheney out of her position as GOP conference chair or not, will determine the fate of the Republican Party. Because at this very point in time, the Republican Party, led by Mitt Romney, Mitch McConnell, and, of course, Liz Cheney, is dying. At least that's the view I'm having. The new one, led by Donald Trump, and a lot of these new members of the GOP, well, not technically new members, but new rising stars within the GOP, like Ron DeSantis, are definitely taking over. This is not the Republican Party of the 1990s. This is 2021. And already people want something new. They wanted something new back in 2016, and they got it in the form of Donald Trump. He offered them a new vision. One where America's sovereignty is protected and its economy goes rising up again, with unemployment at a major low and none of our jobs going overseas to other countries such as China or India. That's just only the tip of the iceberg of what Trump's agenda was. And thanks to him running and winning, that was a major. Not only was that did that make a boost of morale for the Republican Party that they can actually win and establish new ideas, but this was also a wake-up call for the rest of the American people to know which one of these politicians was on the side of the president and the new reformed GOP and who was not. Clearly, Mitch McConnell, Liz Cheney, and Mitt Romney do not support that. As a matter of fact, at this point, I would say Mitt Romney and Liz Cheney are more Democrats than they are Republicans. After all, they're getting praise from people like Nancy Pelosi, where Nancy Pelosi actually said about Liz Cheney in regards to impeaching the president and standing up to the GOP that she encourages her patriotism, and she thinks she is being very brave. When in reality, this is something that the Democrats want. They want Liz Cheney to remain in place. This is what the establishment wants. They don't want this change because it means that their entire agenda that they want as part of the government is thrown out of the window. And I really hope that this does happen. Now, as I said before, Jim Jordan definitely said that he has the votes to kick out Liz Cheney. Again, I have no idea. And here's the reason why. Because Kevin McCarthy, who is the leader of the House GOP, the House Minority Leader, kind of flip-flops from time to time. Just recently, according to the New York Times, he's been actually wanting to get Liz Cheney out. However, back on January 14th of 2021, according to Politico, Kevin McCarthy was not interested in doing something like that. However, I believe that he does see that the winds of change are definitely occurring within the GOP. But the reason I cannot entirely trust him because of the fact that he continually flip-flops. At one point, he could be going for Liz Cheney. At one point, he'll be going against her. So I cannot say for sure. At this point, I would say that it's 50-50 on whether or not Liz Cheney will be removed. Now, let's say Liz Cheney does maintain her position. This will not go over well with the Republican voters. Absolutely not. Because she has been censored by her own state GOP in Wyoming. And at this point in time, a poll actually said that 50% of Wyoming voters would vote for anyone but Liz Cheney. With 50% willing to vote for anyone besides Liz Cheney, that's a big problem. In fact, only 14% of people within the poll said that they were willing to vote for Liz Cheney again, no matter who ran. That's a problem. I believe that right now Kevin McCarthy knows that there will be a massive backlash within the Republican base as a result of this. Trump has a lot of major influence. Hell, look back what happened. Look back at his approval within C-SPAN. Over 90%. He has that much control, that much support from the Republican Party populace. He knows this, and I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump, with his level of power, would definitely destroy the GOP, encourage them to say, do not vote for these people, kick them out. I'm pretty sure that may actually happen, by the way. After all, that's kind of the reason why Loeffler and Perdue were actually kicked out of the Georgia Senate elections. Of course, there was the issue of Dominion voting, but at the same time, there was the issue of them just deciding to go against the president over impeachment. And of course, or I'll take it back, not impeachment. Over the electoral process, despite the evidence that was actually shown, including that video of ballot stuffing. I'm willing to bet something like that would potentially happen, and Kevin McCarthy knows this. Now, if Liz Cheney does get out of office, that I hope will happen. Again, 50% chance. This will spell the end for the old guard of the Republican Party. This may be symbolic in nature, but Liz Cheney being kicked out and replaced with Elise. Sorry, I need to make sure I'm saying her correctly. Elise Stefanik, a congresswoman from New York who is actually endorsed by Donald Trump as the next House GOP conference chair, is going to announce that the GOP is making a new change and it's cleaning house. Liz Cheney will be done. Already, there's a petition with within change.org over potentially wanting to recall Liz Cheney, and it's reached 60,000 votes. Though I cannot say how much how legitimate that petition is. Regardless, that's how unpopular that Liz Cheney is. She's the first domino to fall. Potentially, Mitt Romney will be the next. After all, he was booed on stage by his own delegates within the Utah State GOP. He was booed and barely managed to prevent being censored. He could be censored again. I'm willing to bet that that's what's going to happen. If Elise Stefanik does become the next House GOP conference chair, it will definitely be a major signal for that. After all, there's already been a lot of representatives and senators, excuse me, that have actually been censored by their own party, by their own state parties. Just today, here, let me bring this up. Anthony Gonzalez from the state of Ohio, and he's a congressman from that state, was actually censored by Ohio Republicans. I think that change is going to be happening. Either the House votes to get rid of Liz Cheney and accept that this is the ultimate outcome, that the party needs to be reformed so that way they can win new elections and that potentially Donald Trump will get into office, or they will just continue on with their new path, or they will continue on with their old path, and they will be forced out. Either way, I'm pretty sure that the GOP, in some form or manner, will get some kind of reformation in this process. I am pretty certain about that. Whether it happens this upcoming Wednesday or the 2022 midterms, I am pretty sure the Republican Party and the change that's coming in the Republican Party is only just beginning. My name is Noah Meehan on the Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you have any issues in regards to my videos, such as how I speak or any improvements or how I frame or stuff, which honestly I understand with how I speak, I slur my words a lot, please post them down in the comment section down below or directly message me. And finally, I will not be making another video this upcoming week because I'm going to be working next Friday. Thank you. Bye.
Almost heaven.